Hello, awesome students of Queen Catherine Academy. I'm Natalie Bovis. I am friends with your wonderful teacher, Jane. Jane and I met on a skydive airplane in Spain about 20 years ago. Jane is an amazing skydiver. I was just a beginner, really. I'm sure she's a very cool teacher, and she invited me to speak a little bit about my career, I guess, and I hope to maybe spark some ideas for all of you. As you can tell by my accent, grew up in the United States. I currently live in New Mexico, which is in the Southwest. But my parents are both immigrants to the US. My mom is from London, and my dad is from the south of France. And they came to America when they were just 21 and 22 because they wanted to live a different life, I guess, than the one that they would have had in Europe. And there's nothing wrong with Europe. Europe is wonderful, as is the United Kingdom. But my dad was passionate about Native American Indian art. And so they wound up in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where they had a store selling jewelry, turquoise jewelry made by Native American people, American Indians, some people might call them, although Native American is more appropriate. And they also sold beads and porcupine quills and horsehair and deer skin and things that Native American people use in their arts and crafts and ceremonies. So I think my parents kind of really lived their dream, the American dream, if you will, but very much an entrepreneurial story, and I drew a lot of inspiration from them. I think anytime somebody up and moves to another country to start a new life, they're a very courageous person and a very courageous family. And I think that growing up in a multicultural family is so enriching because it gives you a lot of sort of understanding and empathy for other cultures, and also brings a lot of richness to your own. So my story, I grew up with two entrepreneurial parents who were not American and different, made our family a little bit different, with a mom with an English accent, dad with a French accent, and my American friends would come over and think we're a very weird family. But I think that thriving through being different is what kind of gives us a lot of freedom. I've had a lot of different jobs throughout my life. I am a very creative person. I love writing, and I used to love acting. I don't get to do much of that anymore. I love being on the stage back in the day. And I had a job as a restaurant publicist in Washington, D.C. for a few years, and that's where I first heard about mixology, which is the art and craft of cocktails. And that led me to begin a blog. The blog was called The Liquid Muse, and I just was interested in the topic. I got to use my writing skills, and I was blogging 4 or 5 days a week and just sort of blogging about what I was learning. And pretty soon I got a following on there, and pretty soon liquor companies hired me, spirits companies hired me to do some projects for them. And then I started writing cocktail books and teaching cocktail classes. And it's been 16 years now that this little hobby I had kind of all organically became a career. I think my takeaway, if I were speaking to any of you in person and you were sort of thinking about your future and how to pursue something that would make you happy, is to dream. I believe in dreamers, and I believe in doers. So if you have a dream and something that you love to do, continue to dream that dream, see it for yourself, but then take steps to put your dream into action, because a dream without action is just a fantasy. You know, the action I took, I had this dream really of being a food writer. I wanted to be a food and travel writer initially, but I learned about mixology and I just thought it was sort of interesting. And so I thought, all right, I'm going to practice my food writing by writing about cocktails because it just seemed fun. And I did it every day. I woke up every day. I did my writing. I got better as time went on. And, I think that that's how we really achieve our dreams. If my mom and dad had stayed in Europe and just dreamt about living in the American West, that would have been fine. But they took the extra step to go from dreamers to doers, and they got on a boat and they took it to America, and they didn't know what was in store, and they worked very, very, very hard. My dad didn't speak English when they first came to America, and they worked very hard, and they slowly saved their money, and they raised my sister and me, and now we've gone on to do our own lives. My sister moved to Costa Rica and bought a little beachside bed and breakfast, which she's doing. I'm saying all of these things to you because I love young people. I think young people are full of promise. You are the future. You will shape the world. And so by dreaming the big dreams and then taking the steps to make them reality for yourself, you can also make big changes, positive changes in the world, make it a more inclusive and more beautiful place. And I hope maybe one day I get to meet all of you. And if not, feel free to email me. You can go to theliquidmuse.com, go to the contact page, send me an email. And if you want to hear more about my career as a writer, both about cocktails, food, and a little bit about travel, you can email me and I'd be happy to answer questions one-on-one. So bye everyone. I hope you have a great day.